Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Crown Convos, where we help you get prepared and ready for our national competition. And this time in 2 weeks, we will be at the Hyatt Regency Orlando here in Orlando, Florida. And we are so excited to either get to see all of you again or meet you for the very first time. Today's episode is all about meeting the Queen. So I'm going to pass it over to them for a moment, and let's start by getting to meet our national royalty.
Hi everyone, I'm Alexandra and I'm your National American Miss, Red Banner, Princess, and I started NAM in 2023. Hi, I'm Chloe Delacruz, your National All-American Miss Princess, and I started in 2022. Hi everyone, I'm your National American Miss Junior Preteen, Presley Locke. I started NAM in 2020.
Hi guys, I'm Amelia Hernandez, your National All-American Miss Junior Preteen, and I started NAM in 2019, so I've been doing it for 6 years, and the reason why I started NAM was because of my speech disorder.
Hi, I'm Landry, your National American Miss Preteen, and I started NAM in 2017.
Hi guys, I'm your National All-American Miss Preteen, and I started NAM back in 2017.
Hello, everybody. My name is Emily Nakem, and I'm the current National American Miss Junior Teen, and I started NAM in 2023.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hansika. I'm your National All-American Miss Junior Teen, and I started NAM in 2018.
Hi, my name is Deja, your National American Miss Teen, and I started NAM in 2010.
Hi, I'm Vegas, your National All-American Miss Teen, and I started NAM in 2016.
Hey y'all, it's Hannah, your National All-American Miss. I started NAM in 2019.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm your National American Miss, and I started with National American Miss in 2019.
Wonderful. We are so excited to have so many of you join us this evening because we know you have so many busy, crazy schedules, especially leading up to National since we are literally 2 weeks away. So I want to know, let's start with Miss Hannah. How did you first get started with National American Miss? Like, how did you learn about us and what made you keep coming back?
I learned about National American Miss by a letter in the mail. And actually, it took a couple of letters in the mail for me to even consider NAM. I'm going to be so honest. I saw NAM and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the it girl pageant system, right? And I knew that I needed to work on my confidence. I knew that I needed to find out who I am, what even is confidence as a teenager. And then I finally got the courage to sign up for NAM as a teen. And ever since I stepped on that NAM stage for the first time, it's really shaped who I am and my goals in life. And I was really scared in the beginning, but I'm really glad I took that leap of faith and just trusted in who I was and trusted in National American Miss because it's been such a great experience.
I received an open call letter in April of 2019, and I went to the open call in my hometown of Lexington in May. And my state pageant was in July, so I got that great letter in the mail.
So I've always heard everyone talk about the letter in the mail, and while I wish I got it that way, my start with NAM was a little different. My mom actually came across an ad on Facebook, and then she was already like in acting. So my mom's an actor. She used to be a childhood actor back in India. So she was like, you know what, this seems fun. Why don't you join it? And I was like, you know what, it could be fun. And turns out it was the best decision my mom has ever made for me.
My mom signed me up for National American Miss when she saw it on social media and stuff, and she signed me up. I was only 5 years old, and I competed at Miss Illinois Princess in 2017, and I was first runner-up, and I loved it so much. I begged my mom so much because Nationals was only 2 months away from my state pageant, so it took a lot of convincing. But after a little bit of begging, I was able to go to Nationals, and I had so much fun. I met so many friends, some that I'm still friends with till this day. And I ended up winning National American Miss in Anaheim as a princess in 2017. And 5-year-old me was like, what is going on? What is happening? I'm so excited. And that just completely set off my journey with National American Miss. I've had so much fun. I went back, I think in 2020, and I competed at Miss Illinois again, and I got first runner-up again, which was so grateful for. I was so excited. And then I went back again to Miss Illinois, one more time in 2022. And again, I got first runner up, but that's okay because I came back in 2024 and finally won Miss Illinois preteen. And I was so excited because I've never won my state title. And it took a lot of hardships because, again, I was first runner up 3 times before I was able to get Miss Illinois. And from then, I knew I had to work really hard to get. I know I had to work really hard to be able to do good at nationals, but I worked so hard I was able to just be myself. I feel like that's one thing that I missed in my past couple years. So I knew if I was going to go, I was going to be myself and be nothing else other than that. And I feel like that really showed on the stage at nationals, and which is what made me the National American Miss Preteen 2025. And I love National American Miss because it's given me so much confidence and not just hiding behind a screen, but just being myself and showing the judges who I really am, because that really helped further me in my pageant success.
Yes, perseverance is a great life skill to have. And then the public speaking and the confidence as well. I was very shy when I started, and I was scared to death to talk to people and had zero confidence. So I am with you on that. You definitely can gain that skill.
Yes, I have been here multiple times. And as I think I was 4 when I started. Yeah, I was 4 because I'm 10 now and I've been doing it for 6 years. So when I was 4, I had a speech disorder and I had no confidence at all whatsoever. I wouldn't even talk maybe to my parents, maybe once a week. I would talk to my parents and I would talk not at all. And at school, they had a speech program, and I started with my speech program. And then my mom got a letter in the mail for NAM, and I was like, why not? So I started NAM, and I said 4 words in my intro, but better than nothing. So the next year, I came back, and I think it was 2 years later that I finally won state as a princess. And I had the best year ever. I was with some of my best friends, and I had such a great state director, Brienne. Love her so much.
I came when I was just a baby for my sister's pageant at just 1 month old. And ever since, I've just loved NAM. It's just a great pageant and a great sisterhood, and I've gained so many friends through it. So, my auntie has a kid, and her kid started NAM, and she told my mom about it, and then my mom's like, this is kind of cool. And then when she went on Instagram and there was like pictures and videos, things like that, she was like, this is really cool. And then I started learning by my auntie because my auntie already knew most about it. And then I went all the way to Arizona. That was my first pageant. And I was 6. I won a first runner up. And then next year I went back to Arizona and I was still 6. But then after I was like done, and then I came to nationals.
That's awesome. And Deja, you've been around. I met you when you were just a princess. So tell me how you got involved.
Well, I love that I am Powerhouse. I love that IJM is a part of NAM and NAM is a part of IJM now, intertwine, intermix, that amazing sisterhood, because I actually started with IJM when I was 4 years old. And then my director told me, because IJM used to have state pageants, my director told me that about NAM, and my other sister queens in my court told me about NAM, and I was like, I need to give this a try, you know? So then when I was 5, that's when I started competing in NAM.
Ah, I love that. Thank you. I was like you too. It took me several letters. I'd never heard of a pageant, never done one. And I was like, I'm not a pageant girl. And then I finally gave in, got bit by the bug. And so we just never kind of leave. So Hannah, can you explain to us what National All-American Miss means?
National All American Miss, I get goosebumps. It's so special to my heart. I know I've talked to so many of y'all, but I have never been a red banner girly in my National American Miss career. I have always been first runner up at my state pageant. So to be able to have the chance to still go to nationals representing my hometown has been so special. And I've made so many incredible connections through being able to represent Hayward. And I loved how it pushed me so hard from August to November to really focus on why am I competing? What is my purpose? What does All American mean to me? And why am I here? Why am I doing this? And I cannot speak highly enough of All American. It's taught me so much resilience and strength and perseverance to keep going after that dream that you want to have and never give up, y'all. If the red banner isn't for you, you could be a blue banner girly, just like I am. So don't give up. Keep trying because you don't know what is meant for you.
I love that. That's a wonderful way to describe it. I do a lot of the open calls, and girls are always like, "Okay, I see so many banners. What do they mean?" And it's because only one girl or woman can take away that state title. But we really wanted to give that opportunity to the girls and women who excelled. They did so well. Never, oh, what is it? Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. You always do so well. And so we wanted you to get that national experience, and you are all national queens. You deserve to be here. You deserve to represent the program, and that's what I really love about the National All-American Miss program. Obviously, I love National American Miss and National All-American Miss, but you guys are just so special and all have such unique stories. Miss Jackson, I'm going to throw it over to you. How did you get started, and what do you love about the All-American title?
My older sister did NAM back in 2012, and that was actually the first time that I went to nationals. I think I was still in Anaheim or California at that time. So that was my very first nationals, and I have always wanted to compete in pageants ever since. So I don't believe I got a letter in the mail, but I did end up going to my first state pageant back in NAM, and I think I placed top 10. So, of course, I wanted to keep doing NAM because I really wanted to get a crown or banner. So I ended up going back. I ended up going to nationals and I did not place. But, the one thing that I love about National American Miss, especially the blue banner, is that you keep getting to try again, even if you don't place or if you don't win at your state pageant. So in 2018, I did end up getting the National All-American Miss Princess title. And that was probably best thing that could ever happen to me. As a 6-year-old, it's like, oh my gosh, wow, I finally won a pageant, a sparkly crown, a sparkly banner. But one thing that I really love about NAM is that it really gives you the opportunity to keep going for your dreams, even if you don't win a state title.
Absolutely. And that's not always the goal. I definitely did not win more than I competed. I actually won once and then never again. But it's the skills that you learn, it's the friendships, it's the memories. And so I just love it. It's not all about a crown and banner. Those things are nice. But I always say at one point, they're going to go on a shelf, they're going to go away, and it's everything else that you get to take away. And I love that at 13 years old, at 25 years old, you all know those very important skills, and very proud of all of you. Let's throw it back over to Hannah for a moment. What was your favorite memory this entire year that has to do with your title, whether that was at a state show, at a volunteer event, at your business? What was your favorite memory this year?
Gosh, that is so hard. And I might get sentimental, y'all, because I'm still in denial that Nationals is in 2 weeks. There's been so many incredible memories in this once in a lifetime opportunity for me. And I'm just still in awe that I get to be in this role. One of my favorite things, though, honestly, have just been sharing my story and connecting with so many incredible people. And educating so many individuals on National All American Miss. I got asked so many times this summer, what the heck is my title? And honestly, it was a blessing to be able to talk about All American and how it has changed my life. And at every single state pageant I went to this summer, I got to talk about it and tell somebody what it is and inspire so many young women to keep chasing after their dreams. Again, not mattering how long you have been involved in this system or what place you took at state. Just like you, Miss Elizabeth, I never won. This is my first time winning. I had one other title for a different system, and I was the only one that competed. So I didn't even win. I was just the only one. So it's really, really special to have this title, and I have loved sharing about All American and how much it means to me.
I have a funny moment, and then I also have like my favorite moment. So I guess we'll start off with the funniest moment. I actually fell at the Cancun pageant, like straight on my face. I was carrying 2 awards, and okay, Hasika is laughing. I was trying to brush it off, but yeah, I fell straight on my face. Still kept the awards in the air, so the awards are good. But I would have to say my favorite memory would be I know like meeting all the new girls and that's very fun, but also seeing the like your old sister queens and like the girls that you competed with and seeing them give away their title. I remember I got really close to not only one of my sister queens but also her sister. And that's something like I didn't get to like do at nationals, but I really liked meeting all the new girls and seeing my old sister queen. So I think for the next title holder, also, you don't have to be a national queen to go on the summer tour. Like, you can still go on a summer tour without being a national queen. And I got to see a lot of my friends. My North Dakota junior team for 2024, she came and saw me, and that was really fun. She surprised me. She didn't even tell me she was coming. And I looked down the hall, and she just comes out, and she's like, "Hey, I'm here." And I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. But yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do the most fun, and I think August or like October, somewhere in that scheme, we went to Florida, and I got to hang out with all of my juniors, so Jackson, Landry, Presley, and Chloe, and then Alexandra. We had a blast. We went to like multiple parks in Disney. We went on so many rides, but definitely at the end of the day, you had to take a long sleep and then get back up in the morning and then take more photos. I had a blast, and we did so much every single day. And then you definitely got to have an experience of hanging out people your age and still connecting with them on the same level.
I love it. I was very lucky to get to be a part of that. And man, our junior group, they are a fun bunch. There's truly never a dull moment. And yeah, you wanted to take a long sleep, but I feel like I heard giggles at 2 a.m. So that was a very fun memory. For Miss Jackson, what has been the most rewarding thing for you to meet new contestants throughout the summer? I know I saw you at a lot of state shows. So what did you take away from meeting the contestants, whether they were new to the program or just new to you?
I really got to make a great connection with all of the contestants. Like, this has been the best summer ever because I really got to get like a good connection with everybody. Like, if you look through my camera roll, you would see so many photos of me and the contestants backstage. And I feel like that's the best part of being a national queen, is that you get to make connections across the nation. And that has really been the highlight of my year, and very rewarding because I get to see how people are doing if they live in Georgia. So this has definitely been like one of the best parts of my year.
Awesome. I know I love meeting all the contestants, and at nationals, it's a really cool thing to be like, I know somebody or have a friend in almost all 50 states. So I always think about that if my plane gets delayed at an airport. I'm like, now who do I know in Colorado? Who do I know in Massachusetts? Where can I stay for the night if I get stuck? So that's a really cool experience to meet so many different people and learn about what they do in their city and state. All right, let's throw it to Landry here. Because you're very involved in a lot of different things. You're a very busy woman, can never keep up with you and your mother. How do you balance competing in so many optionals at nationals or at state? How do you balance the optionals and the main competitions?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. I kind of treat them very equally. I'm someone who loves to put a lot of my effort into little things, not the little things, but I like to put the same amount of effort into everything to make me clear across the board. And I just use the same exact amount of time, and I just worked very hard on everything, especially the required competitions. I worked really hard on my gown because my favorite part of competition personally, and I truly cherish that moment for so long. And I also spent a lot of time on my other things. At the same time I was in dance. I was teaching dance. I was doing a bunch of other things. I was able to all balance it all because I'm very good with time management. I have this big old plan. I write out everything I need to do, and I feel like that's one way that I stay organized throughout nationals and throughout the prep, and just making sure that I spend my time into everything and not just cutting things short.
I have a planner. I have to write everything out. As I prepared for nationals last year, going as Kentucky, I was also interviewing for an executive board position within my sorority. I work part-time for a dress store, and I also attend and help out a lot in the hockey community in Kentucky. So I had to write everything out. It took a lot of time management skills and dedication, and of course, commitment to going to nationals as a state queen. But my planner was my best friend from June to November.
I can only imagine. I feel like every time I got on Instagram, I was like, now what open call is she? Where is she at now? What state is she in? So I applaud that. And I love the planner thing because I'm definitely old fashioned and I carry an actual paper planner around. Otherwise, I would lose my head if it wasn't attached to me. So yes, I love that. Plan everything out ahead of time. If you guys all haven't checked your national tentative schedule, please go ahead and check that and see like, okay, I'm doing casual wear and then I'm doing fun fitness and then I've got interview and then I've got, so plan it out, especially if you watch the HRO video walking tour, you know how spread out the place is, you know how busy and how wide it is. So you definitely want to plan what you're doing Nationals week. Amelia, what is, I have so many questions for you. What do you think the biggest misconception about being a national title holder is?
I would definitely say that you're above everyone else. I would say so many people think that, oh, but she's a national queen, so she's better than everyone else, and she's blah, 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 blah. And I think that it's such a big, like, understanding that you have to know that just because you won a specific title doesn't mean that you're a whole lot better than everyone else. It just means that you tried your best and that you have your best personality in it and you have everything and you're giving it your all. So I would definitely say thinking that other people are better than certain other people, because I think we're all equal. Even though you don't have a sash and a crown, you still have your invisible one. And I think that it's such a misconception.
That was an excellent answer, Amelia. And that's so true. Like, you guys will get to meet all of them at nationals, which I'm super excited for you to do because all 13 of them are just like, now I'm going to get emotional, Hannah. They're so truly incredible. But they're just people, right? We're all just people. You can come up and hug them, ask them questions, take pictures. So that was really, really good, Amelia. Alexa, what are you most looking forward to this national? So like in 2 weeks, what are you looking forward to the most?
To make like a lot of friends and seeing how everyone does on stage. Even though I know on speech I'm probably going to go last, but I like hearing how they're going to do amazing and how many friends I'm going to make and how many friends are they're going to make.
Okay, this one I've been waiting for this question, so I'm so glad that you asked me this. I am so, so, so excited for the neon party.
Last time I remember the neon party was during COVID, so it was a little bit different with masks and social distancing. So I'm excited to see it come back now as a miss. I'm excited to see everyone's creative outfits. I love the costume competition that we do as well. I hope that comes back as well, like through the neon party. But I need to finish mine. I still don't know what I'm wearing, so but I'm excited for the neon party.
I'm glad the neon party is back as well. We're super pumped about it. It's something we had even when we were in Anaheim. So looking forward to the neon party. And the outfits are always so creative. You're going to see people dressed in like leggings and a tank top, and you're going to see people in like, I don't know, bedazzled jumpsuits. It's every spectrum of outfit is going to be there, and it's going to be so fun just to see the styles and glow and dance the night away.
I was excited for meeting new friends and getting to see how nationals was. That was actually my first nationals for NAM, and I was super excited to meet my national friends and everyone there. I'm really excited about the doll ball. I love that we get to like wear Ashley Renee's dresses and that they sponsor it. And we get to bring a doll for all the kids and that we get to walk on stage. That's definitely my favorite part.
Awesome. Yeah. Dancing, dolls, and stage time. Who doesn't love it? Vegas, can you tell me what your favorite optional competition is at nationals? I mean, it can be your favorite at state too, but we do have a plethora of optionals at nationals. But what's your favorite overall?
This is going to come as no surprise, but runway has always been my favorite. Ever since I was like 8 or 9 competing at NAM, my mom would always sign me up for 2 runways because she loved designing the outfits. So I would come out first, run backstage, change, and come on last in another runway outfit. And this last year, I kept it simple. I stuck to one, and I ended up winning as your runway national winner, and it's definitely my favorite.
Awesome. Did your mom design that one by chance, the outfit you wore last year?
She designs everything, but we designed that when we were making my gown. We saw this like weird multicolored velvet jumpsuit hanging, and I said, I want that. Cut it in half. That's my runway. Add a skirt. And that's how it happened.
I didn't know that. That's super cool. I love it. And Emily, I know you're super into fashion as well. So you can have the same favorite, obviously, but do you have a favorite optional competitions? Do you do optionals at nationals? What's your story with that?
My favorite would have to be casual wear because I feel like you can take it any type of way that you want to. And I remember my first ever nationals, I did a like Vietnamese traditional, but like also with a modern twist version for my casual wear. And so I thought that was really fun being able to tie my heritage into it.
I love that. And the really cool thing about casual wear is that you do get to pick your theme and just show your personal style, which is awesome. Um, Vegas, what is something that you wish you would have known going into your first national pageant? Like, what is something you wish you would have brought? Something you wish you would have expected? Just what can you share with people so they don't forget it?
Honestly, you need something that is going to help you transport all of your stuff from your room to the dressing room. My mom and I are famous for being not organized people, and we literally wing everything. So I'm sure you can imagine how my first nationals was at NAM. That was back when it was in Anaheim, California, and we were like, wow, this is a whole nother universe, and I have no idea what I'm doing. But honestly, one of the best things we ever purchased was one of those big, like Hulken bags on wheels, and you can throw your garment bags in there, throw your shoes in there. You know me, I'm throwing my spray tan machine in there and dragging that all the way down to the dressing rooms and the ballrooms is honestly such a lifesaver, even for somebody unorganized like me.
That is an excellent tip. Yeah, you're going to see so many Hulkins, so many Dream Duffels, so many wagons. You can throw anything. I've seen little brothers get thrown in there. Like you can really just wheel everything around. So that's a really good tip. Hansiko, what thing do you wish you would have known going into nationals?
I have 2 little things. One is to bring a jacket because the Hyatt Regency can get quite chilly at some times, even though we're in Orlando and it's super hot outside, but the ballrooms can get quite cold. So bring a jacket. I have my Caitlin Kent one that I will be bringing with me this year. But another thing, so I'm a last minute packer, which is something that I need to work out, but I usually pack like 2 days before, like even sometimes the night before I'm leaving. So I pack like everything I need, but I always forget stuff that I'm like, oh, well, I wish I would have had this. So this year, I'm making sure I'm bringing slippers because walking in 6-inch heels, because I always pick the farthest tower, walking in 6-inch heels from that tower all the way down to the ballrooms, it's quite a hike. So I definitely recommend bringing little slippers that you can change into once you're there at the ballroom.
Excellent. That is a pro tip for sure. I mean, you will see me and many other staff members walking around in some sort of flats. Please do not go barefoot at any point, any of you. That's a safety hazard. But bring those comfy shoes, those slides, those Uggs, those slippers, because you'll see me walking around in my flats, usually my Birkenstocks, until I've got to put my heels on to go on stage. So please do your feet a favor. It is a really long week. Hannah, what is something that you are glad that you brought to nationals? Something that you were like really happy, like, I don't know how I would have lived without this.
I am an overpacker to my core, y'all. My dad always gets so annoyed with me. But last year at nationals, runway was my very first optional event, and we couldn't get my runway outfit zipped. And we had tried it on the night before check-in, so like we're good. But because we couldn't get my runway outfit to fit, we had to regroup and figure out what the heck I'm doing with my competition wardrobe, what I'm wearing. So I'm really thankful that I did bring 2 backup options, because one of my backup options worked for check-in. And then, I know it sounds crazy, but my check-in outfit was actually my runway outfit. And you guys, I'm telling you, if your mom tells you to pack that outfit just because, do it. If you're like me, you're going to have about 10 backup outfits, but it's fine because it was really important that I had that. Otherwise, I could have gone to Ashley or Renee's for their trunk show and got an outfit too, but because, it was budget friendly, I already had it in my closet and I got to wear it. So I'm really happy I had an extra outfit.
Excellent tip. Yes, if someone is telling you, just throw it in there. Just do it. Maybe you're like me and you spill something on you. Like you want to be prepared for anything that may happen. So excellent piece of advice. Jackson, do you have a tip on how to get around the hotel, the Hyatt Regency, or like a way to not get lost, or your favorite area? I know it's a very broad question, but it's 315,000 square feet. So do you have any tips about the HRO?
I would say definitely utilizing the maps around the hotel. I remember the very first year I went to the place, I was like, oh golly gee, where's this ballroom? Where's everything? So definitely having a schedule in hand, because I know on the schedules they have the ballrooms on it. Definitely having that, and also utilizing the maps around the hotel. The other question that you asked, my favorite spot is definitely it's like at the very end of the hotel, like where all the ballrooms is at the end, where usually the actress competitions are. That is my favorite spot to take pictures or anything. So if you want to get into good pictures, definitely go over there.
I think you're talking about like the rotunda where we always have those really big signs and the string lights, maybe? Is that what you're talking about? Yes. So, and the lighting is excellent during the day, especially because it's huge floor to ceiling windows. So excellent place to get photos. Alexa, have you been to the pool at the Hyatt Regency?
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really big too. And there was a lot of people there. And we all had so much fun together because I think I met new girls there that were competing too. And I met some queens. So I was I was telling them, want to play game in the water. And after that, even by just talking a little bit, we became friends.
Awesome. Yes. So that's a good place to meet friends and unwind. I always love hearing the older girls love the pool too, but I feel like it's always the juniors that are like, all right, great, formal wear's done. Can we go to the pool now? So I know it's a great location. It's very resort style. There's a restaurant out there. It does get a little chilly sometimes in Orlando in November, but like Hannah said, just throw it in there. So just throw your suitcase in just in case you want to spend some time at the pool. Okay, I want to know during Nationals Week, what's your favorite treat for Nationals Week? So whether that's Starbucks, ice cream, was it Takis that y'all love? What is your favorite treat during Nationals?
During nationals, I was after almost everything was done. So after one thing was done, and I had to do something else, but I got like a 10-minute break. We would go to like a diner or somewhere, and we would ask if I could have a chocolate ice cream, and I would just say, "Do you think I put like little sprinkles on top?" I like the rainbow one.
Duly noted. Okay, listen, Mom, we need ice cream with the sprinkles, the rainbow sprinkles, before every event at Nationals, and that'll keep Alexa as smiley as she is right now. Love it.
I will take extra ones there.
Yeah, extra ice cream. Just bring a little cooler around with you. Awesome. Jackson, what's your favorite go-to treat during Nationals?
I go to the marketplace almost every hour when I'm at that hotel. And I always get, if it's just a sweet treat, I always get the dots in the container, because those are my favorite. I think they're called dots. I don't know what they're called, but they're the little dot ice cream things, and I love them so much. And I also get the container of the mini hot Cheeto balls to go with it. That is my go-to snack every time.
I think I'm the exact opposite from Hannah because I am the biggest sweet tooth you will ever meet. Just like Jackson, I really love those dots. They keep me going. They keep me alive and well during the week. And I also really like across from the market, there is this little gelato stick bar and has like these really good gelatos on like a stick. They're so good. Your girl is lactose intolerant, so sometimes I can't have ice cream all the time. So gelato is a good substitute and it's just so good and it keeps me going.
I love the marketplace. That is my ride or die at nationals. Oh my gosh. Because I feel like in between nationals, it gets so busy between rehearsals and everything. So just like going up there, like grabbing a little pizza, just like to eat in between. And it's good food too. It's like you can get a little Starbucks drink, you can get a pizza, a little snack. So it always keeps me energized between rehearsals and everything.
The Beeline Diner. That's the best place in the Hyatt Regency.
What do you get there?
I get tacos. I love tacos.
Well, my favorite is the Coconut Bar and Grill that's down at the pool. I always treat myself to a coconut burger every time I go to nationals, every time I'm actually at the Hyatt Regency Orlando. That's my favorite. It has a really good like burger sauce on it. I always look forward to eating that burger at nationals, and I will be having several this year.
That's that's awesome. Lots of good shout outs for the HRO. I mean, the food is really, really good. So you'll have to look around and make sure you pack snacks too, because you will see moms and dads and sisters and brothers and everybody wheeling around those like Hulken bags or their dream duffel or those wagons, and they have all sorts of different goodies in there. So definitely take note of that to pack snacks, or at least the market is open 24 hours a day if you need it. It's even open on Thanksgiving Day. How did you prepare for on-stage question? Maybe it's the same as you prepared for interview. Oh, wow. Everyone's like, I know. Perfect. Yeah. Landry, since you're up, let's still start with you. But how did you prepare for on-stage question? And then we'll move on to everybody else because I wanted to hear everybody's.
Yeah, I kind of just thought of it as an interview. Although in my mind, I was like, this is not an interview. I am on stage in front of 1,000 people. But really, it's just the same. I overthunk it way, way too much. And when I tell you that, I truly mean it. I was so scared, shaking my hands before I went on. Had to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just like for dance, but before I went on. But trust me, you're gonna be okay. I thought it was the end all be all, but it truly is just like interview. Just connecting with the judges one last time to show them who you are before the finale.
So I definitely utilized the guidebook a lot last year because in the guidebook on the website, the National American Miss website, there's a section for onstage question and it shows you the categories that they're going to ask you. So that is one thing that I use to help me prepare for onstage question. And during my onstage question, I like literally forgot almost everything that I rehearsed because I was just so in shock that I even made it this far. So I know you might be nervous going into the top 5 for your onstage question, but definitely I went in with the mindset that whatever happens, happens, you know, and yeah, just definitely utilizing the uh, topics that they give you for onstage question.
Yes, excellent tip. So it is on namnationals.com. If you haven't looked, there are just a couple of different options of topics, and we will be asking the same question to everyone in the top 5 in that particular division. So like National American Miss Princess, all top 5 will get the same. National All-American Miss Princess, top 5. Different, but the same together, and so on and so forth. So look at those. It will come from one of those topics. Hannah, did you have something about, I can't remember if your hand went up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got you. So if y'all don't know, when you get announced into top 5, the order that you're announced into top 5, you get put into a separate room with noise canceling headphones. Kind of scary, right? But it's really not that bad. Everyone backstage is like hyping you up, and the NAM staff is so great to make sure that that transition is so smooth. But I thought of on stage as, just like Landry said, as an interview question. However, I will say for me, I really struggled with how personal did I want to be on stage with a microphone in front of a whole bunch of people? Like, that was really scary. But if you go back to my onstage question this year, I really shared my heart with the judges and stayed true to who I am. And I talked about some pretty heavy stuff in my onstage question, and the buzzer went off, but it was in God's hands. And just like Landry said, I did my best, and it is what it is, and I wouldn't change my answer. But just think of it as any other question your mom would ask you, your coach would ask you, your teacher would ask you. It's just a normal, everyday conversation.
I remember being in my hotel room at nationals, and my mom would ask me every single one, and I would just spend hours answering them, not necessarily solidifying like a canned answer, but just getting my thoughts out and making sure that I had explored every avenue of every question, so that when I get up there, swirling in my brain, I have a Rolodex of all of my talking points, what's important to me for the judges to know, so that no matter what I got asked, I knew that I was confident that I was going to say something that answered the question and made sense.
Okay, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I practice one question 90% of my time. I practice like none of the other ones, and thank gosh that was the one question that I practiced that they asked the question. And you can watch the videos when I was saying my on-stage question. And literally, I think, whoever was asking the question, I think it might have been Elizabeth, but I know whoever asked the question, I gave him like no time to finish the question because I was so excited, because it was the one question that I practiced and the one question that I knew the answer for. But definitely practice all your questions.
I feel like it was more about exploring about myself and really exploring about my ethnicity, but also at nationals, I was able to talk to the girls and get a new perspective. So when I went onto stage, it was less about like how I practice at home, but like what I learned during the week. And for my question, I got, how does pageantry influence like girls of my age? And I feel like it influences a lot. And as a national queen, I was able to see that from a different perspective.
Excellent. Chloe, had you ever done an onstage question before?
No, but that was actually my first year doing on stage questions. They actually asked me a question I didn't even know, but I still came in right on the spot, and I just got it somehow.
I love it. Never heard that question, but you nailed it, girlfriend, for sure. Lauren, how do you prepare for onstage question?
This past year at Nationals was the very first time I placed in the top 5, and I was very nervous knowing that I was probably going to have to answer an onstage question. And I tried really hard not to psych myself out during my preparation up to Nationals, because I think that when I overthink, I try to over perfect my answer. So I practiced the morning of, and when it was time for onstage question, I made sure to answer the question. That was the best piece of advice that I received, and I feel like I did a pretty good job doing so.
I love it. It's important to always have an idea, of things you want to share, but I love non-rehearsed answers when you can tell it's very genuine and coming from within. Now, Hansika, you have been at the microphone for top 5 more than once. So from year to year, how do you prepare in the event that you're going to get asked an onstage question? And can you explain the experience of the onstage question with the running back and forth and all that? Go ahead.
I think onstage question, for me, it's always one of those nerve-wracking parts, because I think it's absolutely terrifying not knowing what they're going to ask you. So coming back year after year, I always try to give an answer that I thought the judges would want to hear. And that always resulted in me placing as a runner-up. I always was trying to be someone that I wanted the judges to see. And so this past last year, I decided to finally just you know what? I'm just going to have fun with the onstage question. I'm not going to try to give like a saving world hunger kind of answer like I have in the past. So they asked me a question, and genuinely I gave an answer that I would want to hear someone else say, and not just thinking about it from a judge's perspective. So genuinely something that I would tell my best friend in like high school. So I got to talk about Harry Potter on stage, which is one of my biggest fascinations in the entire wide world. So genuinely one of my biggest advices for top 5 is don't try to impress someone or be someone who you're not, and instead give an answer that you would tell your friend, or give an answer that you would actually say to someone that you know.
I love that. That's awesome. Daisha, can you explain to me, or explain to the girls watching, once you get called, there's 5 of you and you have to go backstage and you have to have the headphones on and you have to tell us what that's like in the moment, if you can remember, unless you blacked it all out.
No, I actually remember it very vividly, Miss Elizabeth. I was very fortunate in my top 5. One of my best friends was with me, my Miss Illinois. Not only were we in lineup next to each other as Idaho and then Illinois, but we had also been best friends in junior teens together a few years prior. And so it was very special for us to even get to compete together this year, and then making top 10 and then top 12 and then top 5 was just out of this world. Like, we were so elated. And so when we were sitting back there, or standing, excuse me, back there, we had the headphones on. They play this kind of white noise static. It's nothing scary. I know I was given advice, just so people know. I feel like that wasn't really explained to me. And so that's just, it's nothing weird. They give you water, so you're not as stressed if you ask for it. It's they take great care of you. And you're sitting back there, excuse me, I keep saying that, standing back there. And my Miss Illinois and I were just clutching each other's hands. We were just embracing each other. And I just had my eyes closed and I was just sitting there like this with my best friend. And I was very, very fortunate to have her. And I just remember thinking, listening to that noise, going, no matter what, I just want to get my point across of who I am, my relation to this organization, what this organization has done for me. No matter what, I'm just going to be as genuine as I can be. I didn't think about anything else in that moment except that. And then they just tapped me on the shoulder. I sprinted. I was like, I'm gonna miss it. They were like, why are you running? So like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And so then I kind of composed myself, walk out stage, and it was the kindest souls who are waiting for me out there with the question. The MCs, they're phenomenal. You'll get to know them at nationals. And they might have been at your state pageants as well, depending on where you're from. But they are just so kind and so reassuring, and they say the question very slowly, I feel like, so that it kind of sinks in. And sorry if that was too step by step, but that's kind of how it ended up going for me.
No, I love it. Details are awesome. It helps paint the picture. Bashara and Tiffany, definitely, whichever one reads you the question, they will say it slowly and clearly, to let you think about it for a moment. And so one of them will hand you the microphone while the other one is reading and has her microphone. And they will stall if you take a second to get up the stairs. So don't worry, they're professional stallers. So they will definitely not make you feel rushed whatsoever. I could talk to you guys all night, but I know that some of you have school in the morning or work in the morning. So I want to open it up. We'll start with Hannah. If there's anything that I didn't ask you that you wish I would have.
Biggest thing is, guys, is really just go into nationals with the goal of just making friends and just being who you are and staying true to who you are. I honestly would always roll my eyes at when someone was like, just be yourself. Like, of course, but no, truly, like, go with the goal of making friends. Don't go in with the goal of winning. Don't go in the goal of this is your year. Just go in with a goal of proving to yourself that you're capable of being at National American Miss and you're capable of your dreams, but you're there to make friends. When I did that for myself, I had no idea I was going to win. Didn't even think I was going to make top 12, let alone top 5, let alone be in this position. So really just go in to have the time of your life and to be yourself and to make really great connections.
Something that I want to share with y'all is to go into nationals with a goal besides of just winning the national title. Every year that I go to nationals, I always have the goal of getting one or more optional national title. I feel like that really keeps me going all week. And last year I actually accomplished that, and I got the national spokesmodel and the national runway, and that would have really been the cherry on top if I didn't even end up winning the overall title. But definitely going with the goal of just not only winning, but different goal that you have for yourself.
Okay, so my pageant guide list, there's 3 top things. Number 1 is setting a goal besides winning. That's so important because only one girl is going to come home with the crown. So really coming in, whether it's making friends or just getting over your fear of on stage speaking or whatever it might be. Number 2, it would be use the sponsors because we have steaming services. My mom she's used that in Clutch because she hates steaming all of my dresses. So also whether it's the Ashley Renee's little pop-up show or shop, that is the most perfect thing. My diverse style heels broke on the day of the pageant. She sells them in every single size down there. She has earrings, she has everything for every wardrobe malfunction. And actually I would put this at number 1. Food. Always pack snacks in your room, have bottles of water because you're so busy. Sometimes you just need to go to the hotel room, grab a snack, and then dip to your whatever dance rehearsal, whatever it might be. Always have snacks. I keep snack in my bag all the time. I share it with my sister queens when they need a snack. Always have a snack in your bag at all times.
I think the biggest thing to remember is your why and your story. Because while it may be easy to compare yourself at nationals, it's so easy to just get in your head and start comparing yourself to other people. But the best important thing you could possibly do is know your worth and know your story. You're there for a reason. You're here for a reason. Obviously, you have the drive for it. You have the motivation. You've put in the hard work, and you have to remember that. Because of course, every single girl there is going to be just as worthy. Everyone there, they're national finalists. Everyone deserves it. But you have to remember your worth because it can be so easy to get in your head throughout nationals. So the best thing I can suggest is just live in the moment, enjoy every single moment because it's 1 week in a whole year. You're probably never going to live this again until next summer or next November. So live in the moment, enjoy every single possible moment because there's so many bigger things at the end of the day than just a crown.
That is a perfect way to end it. The crown doesn't make the queen. You are the queen regardless. So you can always have that invisible crown on your head.
I say to embrace every moment at nationals and be patient with yourself. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into this week-long event on both ends from our contestants and our families, our staff. So just make sure to enjoy every moment. I have been to nationals more times wearing a blue banner than a red banner, and your time will come when it's supposed to. Have fun, make lots of friends, take so many pictures. That's my favorite. I love looking back at all my pictures from over the years. So just embrace every single moment that you can because you never know if you'll be able to go back.
Okay, I want to share. Please, please, please bring a stapler. I know this is going to sound like the weirdest thing ever, but my first year, I think it was my first year, my second year at NAM State, my shoe broke right before going on stage. And my mom, I don't even know why she had a stapler, but she had a stapler and she stapled my shoe. I mean, it took a minute to get my foot out, but it definitely worked. You couldn't see the staple from on stage, but definitely bring a staple.
I just want to emphasize how I think it's important to find time during the week to kind of have a moment with yourself or yourself and your mom or whoever you're there with to calm down and kind of focus in. Because I know for me in the past, I have been chatty Cathy, running everywhere, like social week, this is so much fun. And this year I really prioritized making sure that I set aside time to focus on my goal and focus why I'm there. And instead of putting all of my attention on a million other things, to pour all that love and attention onto myself and on my performance, so that when it's time to do my formal wear or do my intro, that my brain is zeroed in on what I'm there for, which is to do my best. And at the time, I wanted to be your National All-American Miss Teen, and I achieved that goal. And I really do believe that this was my year because I just focused on the goal and wasn't trying to do a million things at one time while at nationals.
Kind of going along with Amelia, my mom has a stitchy, It's this little stitchy gun, and it puts like little stitches into your clothing. And there we go. I was gone for a second. Okay. And that really helped me during the weekend because, again, one of my outfits would not zip. So I decided, you know what? The stitchy's going to work. And it worked. Took a lot of stitchies, but we got through, and that could also work for your shoe. So that's my also biggest advice.
And advice for the girls. Just like what Landry and Amelia said, we brought tapes. They're not like tape. They're sticky tapes that have tape on both sides, so you can like stick them together. And if like something's too big for you or something's not sticking correctly and it's just falling down, one of those you can just slide it on and then stick it on.
That's a great idea. And for everything, trial or run. I always say don't let the first time you wear your competition shoes be when you're competing. If you haven't broken them in already, we're 2 weeks away. Please put them on right now. Pause the video, put your shoes on, walk around the house in them. Make sure you've tried everything on. So let's go to Jackson. I want to know, because you've been involved since you were just an itty bitty one as well, how do you translate the confidence that you have gained from pageants into real life?
So we actually just did our high school interview prep today. So I used a lot of my interviewing skills that I got from NAM onto that. And I was saying in my head in class, like, I am so grateful for NAM for teaching me all these interview skills, personal intro skills, because I would be struggling if I did not have NAM with me to guide me throughout this process. So I know when I am ready to take my high school interviews that I will be all prepared because NAM has taught me so many great life skills that I will use from this year to however many years in the future.
That's perfect. And admittedly, interview was never like my favorite competition because I always overthought it. But when it came time to interview for high school drum major, for college scholarships, for my first job, my second job, my 19th job, I was so glad that I had been practicing it for a year. So that's a great example. Wow. High school interviews, yikes. That's crazy that you're starting that already, but I'm glad even the schools are starting to get that into motion as well, because interview skills are super duper important and they will come into play for your entire life. Lauren, how do you use the skills you learned through pageantry in your day-to-day life?
Oh, this is one of my favorite questions. I have grown so much since the time I started with National American Miss. I was 15 when I received the letter. So throughout the time that I've competed, I've learned how to compose myself on stage and speak to a large audience, which I now have the pleasure of doing. I was just recently elected chapter president of my sorority, and that is a big skill that I have to talk in front of my sorority sisters. I've also learned about empowerment and leadership, of course, through my time with NAM. And I see myself communicating those things and uplifting the women that are around me with my sorority. I've also been able to translate those skills in my everyday job. I am a sales associate, so I have to be able to communicate effectively with people as they come in to shop. And I don't think a lot of people think about the skills that you develop at a pageant to translate into your part-time job, but I certainly see it in the way that I can understand what people are looking for, and my knowledge from pageants help me out daily with my job.
And that concludes this week's Crown Convos episode. We all can't wait to see you very soon at Nationals. Bye!